Nuts. Every nut in town wants to be a new Kellogg's Nut Feast. But do they have taste, I ask?
There's a lot of hopeful nuts still out there, Mr. G.
And who can blame them? This is going to be a big hit.
Casting.
Kellogg's have cracked it. New Kellogg's Nut Feast is a great-tasting nutty cereal. Crisp wheat flakes mingled with crunchy clusters of peanuts, hazelnuts, and almonds.
I'm looking for nuts that have taste and maybe a touch of class.
New Kellogg's Nut Feast. All the nuts with all the taste.
New honey shampoo from Timotei is so rich, even the weak and fragile can be transformed into an astonishing display that looks full of strength and health and vitality. New Timotei honey shampoo for healthy-looking hair.
PG picked the freshest tips of the tea bush for their bags. So for the tea you can really taste, watch out for the tips.
Under this skin, there's plenty of moisture. Under your skin, too, for now. But without protection, skin can quickly lose moisture. Bad news for apples, good news for you. Because Oil of Ulay works like young skin's natural fluids. It locks in that precious natural moisture like a magnet for a long time. And no greasy shine, helping to protect your skin's youthful look. Oil of Ulay twice a day for young-looking skin.
Our planet is under threat, and the children who'll inherit it are very aware of the dangers facing the environment. 4 new stamps from the Royal Mail show children's designs on this important theme, winners in a competition held jointly with Blue Peter. The green issue is at post offices from September the 15th onwards. It's also available in this thought-provoking presentation pack, and as postcards to send or collect. Royal Mail stamps, beautiful gifts you'll want to keep.
In the past 25 years, Weight Watchers has helped millions of people to lose weight. Now you can give a kickstart to your diet with Weight Watchers' new Super Start and still eat the foods you enjoy. They all lost weight with Weight Watchers. Why not join them and give your diet a Super Start?
Join now and your registration is free. Save £9. For your nearest meeting, phone 0622 683 573 or see Yellow Pages.
An evening of outstanding European football on TVS. Stuttgart versus Leeds, and highlights of the Torpedo Moscow and Manchester United game. The European match, Wednesday at 7:10 on TVS.
It's so dramatic, it's virtually real.
A child's disappearance melts David Jason's heart in a touch of frost.
It's not good. Should have found her by now.
And a woman's murder sets a search for a second prime suspect in motion, heading the case, Helen Mirren.
I hear you've got a bit of work lined up. Job's not all that big.
But what a job. A dramatic reconstruction of the Brinsmat robbery, Fool's Gold. There's malice aforethought in a period drama, The Blackheath Poisonings.
You can't just kill one. You've got to kill them all.
And foul plays afoot in the Ruth Rendell mystery starring George Baker. But in the life and times of Henry Pratt, even unpleasant events can't keep a child down. Traumatic but true, the story of the Beirut hostages graphically depicting man's will to survive against all the odds. Dramatic tales of fact and fiction. Watch out for them, only on TVS.
Now on TVS, our movie premiere, Vice Versa.
Is your big box powder fading your colours? Now there's totally new Daz Colour to help keep colours brighter for longer.
I've used my powder for years. The colour's fine.
Compare it to new Daz Colour.
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you now, it's certainly opened my eyes. Absolutely incredible. The colours. These are some of Sam's shorts. I've washed those quite a bit since I've had this new Daz colour. And the colours obviously come out exceptionally well. All the grime came out and everything. I just can't get over it. These were the shorts I bought last year. You can obviously see how they faded in the elastic. I've always used that powder that my mum used. I never thought to change. I can't believe I've been so blind for so long.
Louise, let's test your loyalty here then. Here's 2 big packs of your old powder for your one dad.
No, take this one.
You're not going to upset your mum, you know?
I know I am. Well, mind you, I might be able to convert her to start using Daz colour, mightn't I?
New Daz colour. See the difference and you won't swap.
Let me wrap you in my warm and tender love. Let me wrap you in my
Le jardin.
tender love.
St. Ivel's shaped yogurt has a light, fresh, fruity taste. A taste that comes shining through. Because St. Ivel's shaped yogurt is virtually fat-free. How refreshing.
Say St. Ivel and you're in refreshingly good shape.
When I don't have a clue, I have a sign to get through. I talk Twix. I talk Twix. I talk Twix. I talk Twix.
When they misunderstand what you're trying to say, the 2-finger snack will make it okay. I talk Twix.
I talk Twix. I talk Twix.
I talk Twix now.
Caramel biscuit chocolate. Just use your hands. They'll understand.
Let's talk Twix.
Let's talk Twix.
If you want to make sure you're eating enough fibre, it's worth knowing there's as much fibre in 8 bowls of brown rice as you'd find in just a single bowl of Kellogg's All Bran. Kellogg's All Bran, a great fibre provider.
The adult world was designed to keep us moving. And while this may make us more efficient, it's not exactly a party. Luckily, technology has produced a cure. It's called a Game Boy, the personal game playing system from Nintendo, with lots of sport, action, and puzzle games to choose from. It comes with Tetris game, earphones, and batteries.
I'm sorry, sir. Your flight's been delayed.
Good. Game Boy from Nintendo. How much fun can you handle?
The Philips Comfort 400 switches itself off if you leave it on. Some other irons don't. Philips. It's a comfort.
He's a caveman who just stepped into the 20th century. California Man. I'll be back.
Bathroom's free.
Son, Dad, late for school.
Oh, morning, Kevin. Good morning, Dad. How are you this fine morning? Oh, very well, thank you.
Shirley, have you seen my new pink shirt?
Try the airing cupboard, dear. Behind that loose shelf.
Oh, thanks for telling me.
Well done, Dad. You found my PE kit.
Think I'll go back to bed.
And I'll bring you a nice cup of PG.
PG picked the youngest, freshest tips of the tea bush, which makes PG the tea you can really taste.
Now I'm ready to face the world.
Don't forget your lie-in, Jeff. It is Saturday.
Oh, no, love. Show Kevin doesn't.
Entertaining can sometimes be a bit of a drag. That's why I insisted on a new gas built-in oven.
Okay, Jonathan, pizzas are ready.
It's got a ceramic grill, which means you have a large area to cook with. On the outside, it stays cool, and on the inside, it helps clean itself. Unlike this lot. But the best thing is it has a fan-assisted oven, which gives it an even temperature throughout. Don't you just love being in control?
Hey, what are you going to eat around here?
For breakfast, there's usually muesli.
And what's the muesli we eat usually?
It's this one, folks, Alpen. A-L-P-E-N. It's the appetite appeal. For lots of crispy wheat flakes and some blessed raisins. It's for the pleasure of taste and texture. For every oat flake. And in for them, they're hazelnuts. A-L-P-E-N.
Why, thank you, ma'am.
Maybe if people had a better start, they wouldn't turn out so bad.
It's Chicken McNuggets that really do it for me. The very sound of it. Nugget, nugget, nugget.
Fancy Chinese? Yeah. Nah. Curry? Yeah. Nah. McDonald's? Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, darling. Did you have a nice birthday? You went to McDonald's?
I could murder a Big Mac. I mean, what do you really want out of life, Catherine? I mean, really and truly.
I want a McChicken sandwich and a strawberry milkshake.
Sainsbury's whole fresh chicken, down to 59p a pound. A chilled bottle of Sainsbury's Moselle at £2.09. Good value is meat and drink to Sainsbury's.
Harrison Ford and Melanie Griffith star in Working Girl.
Can I get you anything, Mr. Trainer? Coffee, tea, me? Maybe I just don't like you.
Working Girl, Sunday at 7:45.
Never know how much I love you.
I remember her delicate fragrance floating on the air. She said the ocean was calling. We just dived straight in, clothes and all, like some kind of free spirit. You know, she'd swear there was a garden at the bottom of the ocean. And that night, I found it. Free spirit from impulse.
When you've got kids under your feet and they want something quick to eat, just think McCain and save your day. 3 minutes here and you're awake. Quickety quick.
Microchips.
McCain may crinkle, cut or straight. Great from the box or on a plate. Try them once and it'll be plain. 4 microchips make them McCain. Quickety quick.
Microchips.
McCain microchips. Real chips. Crickety quick.
Here in the Colombian mountains, rain breathes freshness into the land. Then the sun gives fullness and flavor to some of the finest coffee beans in the world. That's why today's new, fresher tasting Maxwell House uses more mountain-grown Colombian beans than ever before, for an aroma that's inviting, a flavor that's refreshing, a new, fresher taste. Taste the freshness of the mountains in the new blue jar. New Maxwell House.
These whole wheat flakes with bananas and juicy raisins are delicious.
Excuse me, I think you'll find it's bananas, hazelnuts and apples.
No,
right?
darling, apples and raisins.
With Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre, you never get the same bite twice.
Trouble in the dining room again, Mr. Hardwick.
Nonsense, Ivy. It's the highlight of their day.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre, never the same bite twice.
Now the man they call the sheriff was bad beyond belief, mean as a rattlesnake, low down dirty thief. So the town called for help, and along came
Me. He's the milk of our gate.
The Milky Market is strong and tough, and only the best is good enough. The creamiest milk, the whitest bar, the good taste that's in Milky Bar.
The Milky Bars are on me.
Milky Bar so creamy white, that's a Milky Bar.
I use Nuance Multi-Styler, and I can style as if I've used a mousse. I use Nuance Multi-Styler instead of a gel spray, and it works! Just like a gel spray. I use Nuance Multi-Styler as a hairspray, and it gives me hold that moves naturally. I use Nuance Multi-Styler.
The mousse, gel spray and hairspray, all in one.
Schwarzkopf know how. How can you tell if you're wearing the right pant liner? When you can hardly feel it at all. With an Always pant liner,
You can feel so fresh and dry anytime. It's almost as if it's not there at all. That's because Always has a revolutionary top sheet dry weave, which lets moisture in and almost nothing back. With Always pant liners, you feel so fresh and dry. You almost can't feel anything. Always pant liners. All you feel is really fresh and dry.
So that's why prawns to a Cajun recipe, deliciously hot with a choice of dips. Pork satay sticks served with dipper pots, pasta lucana, profiterole surprise, chicken tikka salad with a papadum, salmon sausage kebab with exotic jabbing fish, Hawaiian taki in mango marinade, vegetable stroganoff. Oh, and a T-bone steak.
Beefeater restaurants, discover the world and eat it.
The special edition Phoenix range from Nissan that started these prices on the road. All with 3-year or 60,000-mile manufacturer's warranty. All with 0% APR finance. Call 0345 800 600 for details.
St. Ivel's Shape yogurt has a light, fresh, fruity taste. Because St. Ivel's Shape yogurt is virtually fat-free. How refreshing.
Say St. Ivel and you're in refreshingly good shape.
Paddock's Indian cuisine is so absolutely pukka. It was very well received by our panel of experts. Now, Meena Patak recommends you try it too. Pukka people pick a pot of Paddocks.
Cousin William, I don't suppose you know why Purcell gets the dishes so very clean.
No, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
Well, the Purcell grips the grease, and it holds it in the water so it can't get back on the plate. You see?
No. Run me through that again.
See?
No. No.
Well done, Billy.
Purcell washing up liquid. Grips grease for good.
Why are these videos so complicated? Do they think we're all qualified astronauts? User-friendly video. What's it do? Is it shaking warmly by the hand?
No, sir.
The new Amstrad user-friendly video is so easy to use. Just set the channel, set the clock, press send, and you're all set for same-day timed recordings.
In fact, if you can't use it in 5 minutes, you get your money back.
Oh, take it. Good grief.
Just £249.99, the new user-friendly video from Amstrad.
Dad's always trying to save money by economising. First, it was the electricity. Then it was the heating. So when Mum discovered her Purcell Micro Liquid came in a refill pack, Dad was well pleased. You still get great results, but the refills cost less, so you save money. You'd think with all this economising we could afford a proper spin dryer.
New Purcell refill packs. Brilliant results for less money and less waste.
Need a little help? Call Talking Pages on Brighton 542222 and we'll do the searching for you.
Tomorrow, a certain barrister feels the full weight of the law.
They fingered your collar at last.
Nothing to do with my VAT, is it?
It's an extremely troublesome business.
There is no evidence more unreliable than the confession.
There's going to be a terrible miscarriage of justice.
Excellent. I relish the Rumpole roly-poly. Do you have any questions, Mr. Rumpole?
Silence in Court from Rumpole of the Bailey. Tomorrow at 9 on TBS.
Film news in just a moment with Hollywood Report.
It's the way we make you feel that makes people fly British Airways. The world's favourite airline.
Having the WA round for a soiree. Tricia Simpson's been acting like Egon Rooney since she got a fondue set. So I'm putting my stall out. Popped into the British Gas showroom last week. Very struck with their range of new gas cookers. A young man sidles up. No interest right now, he says. No interest, I said. I'm not surprised. But that's the economy for you. Turns out he meant no interest if I had it on credit. So here I am. Tricia Simpson's butterbean whip. I wouldn't use it for grouting the bathroom. Don't you just love being in control?
Imagine a range of robust and stylish children's bedrooms in a setting just like home. And everything available with a quality guarantee. Imagine a place with more furniture ideas than ever before. Imagine they actually come from MFI. For more furniture ideas, visit your local MFI.
You don't have to wait for the coffee to serve cappuccino. Viennetta cappuccino. One slice is never enough.
Flora. High in polyunsaturates, low in saturates, and low in cholesterol. Flora, for your blooming generation.
Tonight, new improved chick sticks from the Bird's Eye Steakhouse.
They bit like chicken fingers.
Don't be stupid, chickens don't have fingers.
Do they?
It's not the plum in my mouth that gives me perfect English. It's the apple. Real English coxes taste English to the core.
Luke Jackson, played by Paul Newman, is sentenced to 2 years on a tough chain gang after a drunken spree. But when he defies the ruthless prison guards, he becomes known as Cool Hand Luke. That's our movie, right after Hollywood Report.
Hello and welcome to Hollywood Report, the weekly guide to the entertainment capital of the world. Katie Wagner has the news.
Hi, Richard. I hope it's not too cold over there. It's finally getting a little cooler here. And do we have a cool show for you this week? I take a walk on the beach with Dieter Meyer of Yellow.
I couldn't believe it when friends called me and said, Dieter, this song is all over the place.
And focus on a photography auction and why celebrities and everyone need to keep supporting the fight against AIDS.
It's a good cause, and I think any public show of support for AIDS research and help and investigation and is good.
And rev up with the Harleys and the Easy Riders at a bash that was to be heard all over town.
Movies and motorcycles, it's almost good as sex and drugs.
But now be prepared to be scared the American way as Katie takes us through last Saturday's Hollywood Halloween.
Once a year in America, people go legally mad, and it's called Halloween. Sensible people get all dressed up and do really silly things. And pumpkin patches just like this one pop up all over America for people to come and buy pumpkins as part of the celebration.
In the lab late one night when my
In the UK, Halloween may go with a whimper rather than a scream, but here in the States, everyone takes it seriously, especially the kids. What are you going to do with that pumpkin?
I'm going to use it for Halloween.
What are you going to do with it for Halloween?
Carve it and make a face on it.
What are you going to do on Halloween?
Go trick-or-treating.
What are you going to dress as?
The Grim Reaper. A Ninja Warrior.
Ninja Warrior, are they mean?
Sometimes. I'm going to be a ninja with an axe.
Are you going to hurt people with it?
Yeah, it's quite sharp.
John, how many pumpkins a year do you usually sell?
On this lot, we'll sell about 3,000. And we have 3 lots, so we expect to sell about maybe 10 or more thousand.
How much does the average size pumpkin cost, or how much do they go for about?
The average pumpkin around here goes for about $5.
And they go up to?
And they go up to, for those large ones over there, up to $75.
But pumpkins are just the feast and decoration for a Halloween night. The real fun is in spooking people and getting spooked. And Hollywood's Universal Studios are hoping to cash in on that by converting their entire back lot into a Halloween horror show. Universal's horror meister, Jim Yeager, told us the scary details of the show.
Well, what we've done is taken the world's largest and busiest studio, Universal Studios Hollywood, and we've capitalized on the legacy of creating Dracula, Frankenstein, and all the great horror classics and brought them to life. Halloween has really become the second biggest holiday in the United States after Christmas. It's business-wise, it's the second biggest holiday, and increasingly it's become very popular with adults.
Well, we just want to say Happy Halloween from Universal Studios Hollywood. And boy, do we have something going like crazy here. We got all kinds of monsters and ghouls and spooks and everything. Even me, the ghost with the most.
This has cost literally a few $1 million. It's sort of the world's most expensive haunted house and Halloween party. And it's going on for 6 nights, basically the last 2 weekends of October.
So if you want to be scared out of your wits, go to Jim's place. But if, like most Californians, you want to party on Halloween, you've just got to look the part. Hi, I'm a glamour clown. Here in America, we love to get dressed up. And Halloween is the perfect opportunity. All the kids go trick-or-treating and spooking everyone. But this being Hollywood, we have the chance to go one bit further. And we're here at the huge movie costumers, Western Costume, to see which costumes are the hot ones this year. Surprise! Western Costume is the place where every self-respecting partygoer gets his Halloween outfit. They've been supplying the movie business since 1912, with thousands of costumes from Gone with the Wind to Planet of the Apes. And with parties all over town, Halloween is big business for them. Not to mention the 40,000 people who hit the streets for the annual Hollywood Halloween Street Party. Finally, the big night has arrived, and as you can see, the streets are filled with people who are dressed to kill.
I'm George. I borrowed Barbara's pearls for the evening.
Now, when do we get to lick you?
Well, ma'am, that'll be any time. Well, let's not get into that in public, ma'am. I'm a good old Southern boy, raised right.
Tell me what goes on here on these streets of West Hollywood.
West Hollywood is an incorporated city, and they have a what they call a Halloween festival every year. I've been here for the last 4, and I think this is like the 8th or 9th one. And we close the streets down, everybody comes out, has a good time, encouraged to come out in costume, and it's a party.
Need I ask who you are?
Dracula.
How did you get here? Does that fit in your car?
Yeah, it's wire, and it just folds up, and I have a Honda, and it fits right in there. Yeah, like an umbrella. Max, I'm ready for my close-up. Here it is, honey, here it is. And remember...
If you don't look good, you don't look good.
Thank you very much.
I'm Catwoman, Cat Diva. My feline characteristics and personality.
It's still early yet, although the witching hour is approaching. So I shall leave you now as I go off to find my creature of the night.
Julia Roberts has parted company with the $30 million production Shakespeare in Love, causing the whole production to be put on hold and more than likely to be scrapped altogether. The problems all stem from finding a male lead to play opposite Miss Roberts. She wanted Daniel Day-Lewis, still hot from Last of the Mohicans, but Daniel wasn't interested. So the producers tried to tempt her with other such dashing men as Ralph Fiennes and Paul McGann, but Julia was still having none of it. The close of Shakespeare in Love has meant the possibility of 200 job losses at the UK's Pinewood Studios and yet another blow to what remains of the British film industry. The question is, was Julia just throwing a tantrum when she didn't get her choice of leading man, or is she being a bit more careful about her career, which is until now largely rested on playing a prostitute and Tinker Bell the Fairy? It's been 19 years since the death of martial arts supremo Bruce Lee. During the 70s, he was considered to be the founding father of the kung fu genre of films. 20 years later, his son Brandon Lee is following in his father's footsteps, hoping to re-establish the martial arts action film firmly into the 90s with his new movie, Rapid Fire.
Some chink kid over there in a black jacket. He saw me whack tang. You heard him moving.
Jake Lowe, the character I'm playing, is in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Haven't you heard that somewhere before? But is Rapid Fire just another action movie that hinges more on guns and fight sequences than characters and a strong storyline?
It's a common weakness in films like this, and it's not something I wanted to go into it setting out to do, you know. And I liked this film because I thought that it aspired to do something more than that. It's an interesting character. We got to bring in the political backdrop of Tiananmen Square, even if it is briefly, you know. And I think that the character gets to start a journey at the beginning of the film and end up someplace else by the end of it. Jake doesn't know who he can trust. He's put up in the safe house and he's being protected by these federal agents. It turns out that the federal agents are on the take, and they're being paid by Serrano, so they try and kill Jake. Jake ends up killing one of them in self-defense and ends up fleeing on foot into a strange city, at which point he's being pursued by the cops who think he's a cop killer, as well as by the bad guys who want to make sure he never does end up getting a chance to testify. I wanted to keep a through line in the character, that he never just turned into this person who took it in a very cavalier sense, you know, like smoke a cigarette, shoot the bad guy, get the girl, go home, you know, because that's not who he was. There's nothing wrong with that other film, you know, the smoke a cigarette, shoot the guy, go home film. It's just not what this one was. His attitude towards the violence, I think it's just survival, you know. This is not, I mean, he's a trained martial artist, so am I, but I have not been in those kinds of situations that are portrayed in the film. And if I were, I imagine it would be, you know, Christ, I'd be in therapy for the next 20 years, you know. That's a part of the film they don't show.
Not only is Brandon Lee the star of the movie, he also choreographed the fight sequences.
I've been working out at the same martial arts academy since I was about 13, and so I have a lot of good friends. And I'd bring some of them over to the house. I'd have the choreography worked out on paper already, so I'd shoot it on video. Then I'd bring that in, show it to the director and the cinematographer, rehearse it with the stuntmen or the actors, as the case may be, and shoot it. When my dad died, he was 32. He'd had the opportunity to make 4 films in their entirety. It's really pretty amazing, actually, that he made only 4 films, and yet he created a genre in the West, and to this day is singularly identified with that genre. I mean, you say martial arts movies, it's Bruce Lee, And I am certain that if he had had the chance to live longer, he would have indeed branched out from the type of film that he made at the beginning of his career.
Still at the beginning of his career, how does a young Mr. Lee see his new film fitting alongside the works of already established karate stars like Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme?
It's not really my intention to fit in, frankly. I'm not too worried about who the audience for the film is. I guess I'll be real worried if nobody goes and sees the film, because then they won't let me make another one. But right now, that's all I want to do is just make another one, and then make another one, and then branch out and get on to something else.
Rapid Fire sees its UK release on the 20th of November. You may remember we told you a while ago that Charles Webb had written a sequel to the 60s classic The Graduate, the film that launched Dustin Hoffman as a Hollywood star and told the story of young Benjamin Braddock succumbing to the advances of his friend's mother, Mrs. Robinson. Well, it seems that Benjamin will return to the screen with Dustin Hoffman again in the title role. Hoffman has been talking to the original producers to suggest a 90s version in which Benjamin has a clandestine affair with his son's girlfriend. In part 2, we don our leather jackets to go to the Harley-Davidson dance rave. Katie talks to Swiss singer Dieter Meier from Yellow, and Hollywood stars spend their money at last at a charity photographic auction. Do not adjust your set.
Vous connaissez cette femme?
Oui, je crois. Elle déjeunait tout à l'heure là-bas avec un homme.
Dites-moi, le chiffre 1664, ça vous dit quelque chose?
Oui, Cronenbourg, 1664.
Regardez cette telle à la télévision.
Ba 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 baby bell. Ba 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 baby bell. Oh, ba 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 baby bell. Ba 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 baby bell. Rocking and rolling everywhere we go. Ba 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 baby bell. Try it if you please, you never would believe. So smooth and soft, it's the my little cheese. Ba 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 baby.
Baby Bell, the little cheese that likes to get out. Slice 4 ounces of small white mushrooms. Then finely chop half a bunch of Sainsbury's salad onions. Heat some olive oil in a pan. Now, pop in your mushrooms and onion. Add 1 packet of Sainsbury's sliced pepperoni sausage. Cook for 2 to 3 minutes and remove from heat. Meanwhile, crack 6 large eggs into a bowl. Beat and add 4 ounces of grated cheddar cheese. Sainsbury's mature cheddar is best. Then add a little chopped parsley. Pour the mixture into the pan and cook until the egg firms up. Place the pan under the grill to brown the top. Serve with a green salad and, of course, a good Sainsbury's Bergerac.
Sainsbury's, everyone's favorite ingredient.
The new Volkswagen Golf, designed to be the safest and most recyclable Volkswagen ever built.
Tubular Bells 2, the #1 album.
Welcome back. The news from Hollywood is that Colonel Oliver North is making a skirmish into Hollywood, but it looks like being an uphill struggle. It seems he wants to get his memoirs about the Iran-Contra scandal made into a movie, and he thought Oliver Stone would make the ideal director, having won Oscars for Platoon and Born on the 4th of July. But surprise, surprise, the liberal Stone has declined the offer of glorifying the crafty colonel on screen. He did, however, offer some help with casting for the film. He suggested that Leslie Nielsen might be ideal to play the title role.
In 1979, Swiss aristocrat Dieter Meier and friend Boris Blank formed Yellow to make their own distinctive brand of technopop. Since their unexpected commercial success, they've been hailed as the fathers of rave. But as I discovered on Santa Monica Beach, there's much more to Dieter Meier than his music.
I started as a so-called experimental filmmaker when I quit my 5-year career as a professional poker player, which was my first profession. And then for my little experimental films, I made my own soundtracks. And this is how I started to use my voice and all kinds of tools, similar to what Boris did as a musician. And then the soundtracks became commercially more successful than the films. The first commercial success in this country we had with a song called Bostitch. This song, standing at the machine every day for all my life. You know this thing? And this was played, to our big surprise, mainly by black radio stations like WBLS, Frankie Crocker at the time in New York. And I couldn't believe it when friends called me and said, Dieter, this song is all over the place.
But Dieter's interests don't just lie in his music, and that's why he's here in Hollywood.
I'm producing and directing films here. One is a film on Marilyn Monroe. I think that the whole circumstances around her death, they need to be looked into again, because I think it's one of the bigger scandals of this century, how so many strange things could happen when she died, and how so many things have been covered up in the most sort of radical ways.
So now you'll be in Los Angeles for how long?
I travel forth and back every sort of 4 or 5 weeks, but I hope that the city and the possibilities of the city like me for the next few years, because I'm really fascinated by making movies here. I think it's the most wonderful place in the world to make films, and I totally disagree with other Europeans who say how closed and difficult it is. The city, I think, is very open for new and fresh and original ideas. I'm a stranger in your jungle. To be commercially successful is like a sideline of what I'm doing when I'm trying to find out who I am on this little planet and what the few thousand days I'm staying here are all about. But I would never aim any of my products directly to a commercial world.
Whether he wants to sell his albums or not, Dieter and his pal Boris are releasing a singles compilation album called Essential Yellow on November the 9th.
Tonight we're at yet another glamorous Hollywood event filled with beautiful people, beautiful music, and beautiful food. And yet again at the Directors Guild. This time a celebrity photo auction. Lots of photographers, some famous, others not quite as, have donated their art to be auctioned off to raise money for a very important cause, if not the most important, AIDS.
It's a good cause, and I think any public show of support for AIDS research and help and investigation and is good, especially while we have this administration, which is less than adequate.
We're doing things that the federal government, the state government should be spending tens of millions of dollars on. Do you know that in August of this year, California surpassed New York for the first time in the history of the epidemic in the number of newly diagnosed AIDS cases?
What is your photograph of that's here?
It's a woman's face with a clock painted on it, kind of a little tribute to Salvador Dali.
How important is it for people like you to get behind these kind of events?
Well, there's almost no way that I can actually affect a change with my photography. So in a small way, to give a photograph to an auction or to a charitable cause, it's a wonderful way to do something with my work that I can't just do by writing a check.
Well, I have a credit card burning a hole in my pocket, look right here. So I'm here to check it out and see what's going on, and more than anything, I'm here, you know, to do whatever I can to support this cause.
Tell me why you're here tonight, Mr. Asner.
Well, because I was made to look more interesting in a still photo than I think I've ever looked in film. That was due to this lovely artist here, Linda Vanoff.
We captured a moment together that was very unexpected, and it came out really nice.
How much do you think it's worth?
Well, I priced it at $900, but you never know. It may be, you know, sold for more.
I have a new bidder at $1,000, $1,100 in the back, $1,200 I'll take. Sold for $1,100. Thank you.
There is not yet a commitment by our government to really conquer this crisis. You know, AIDS has declared war on America. America has yet to declare war on AIDS.
It's a sad indictment of the U.S. health system when events like this one and others that we have covered have become the main source of income for so many AIDS organizations, which receive absolutely no state funding. Yes, the U.S. government does supply 25% of the funds needed, but the other 75% come from evenings like this.
400 I have, say 450.
Maybe things will change with the next administration, but then again. The Harley-Davidson has been as much a part of American history and folklore as Mom's apple pie, and the monster bikes have been a feature in road and action movies for years, from the Electroglide in Blue to the Hogs in Easy Rider and the Fat Boy ridden by Arnie Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2. Last week in LA, Harleys old and new turned out for a Harley rave.
The premier patrons of the American Cinematheque's Harley Rave was a combination of high fashion and high tech. Massive video screens projected clips of classic biker movies, and hundreds of bikers arrived on their mean machines in their hot leathers. It was all to raise funds for the American Cinematheque Museum, and the stars of the original biker movie Easy Rider were there to give their support.
Movies and motorcycles, it's almost good as sex and drugs.
Oh, Dennis, can you tell us what it is about motorcycle culture that makes it so exciting?
They have two wheels.
So something like the American Cinematheque gives the availability of films. This is what I do for a living. What I do for fun is ride Harley-Davidson.
Everyone's getting bikes nowadays. In Hollywood, it's starting to get kind of a GQ kind of fad now.
While the chrome and leather posed and cruised outside Arena where it all took place, inside the party was really revving up.
We're here tonight to celebrate movies and Harley-Davidson and Hogs and all that stuff. You know, in America, we're only as good as our newest product, and we have no place to see old movies. There's a lot of great old movies that people have no chance to see. So the Cinematheque of America is going to provide a place to see these movies. That's a very worthy cause, and thanks for coming and supporting this.
The evening culminated in a hot fashion show displaying the latest in designer leather and biker wear. The premier patrons raise funds for the American Cinematheque throughout the year, and tonight's proceeds will go towards one of their principal activities, a monthly Saturday matinee of classic films for children and their families.
And finally, one of the attractions at the Carousel of Hope Ball, which we featured on Hollywood Report a couple of weeks ago, was a charity auction of various celebrity paraphernalia. Among the lots up for grabs was a black Labrador puppy and a date with Claudia Schiffer. The dream date with Claudia went for a mere $3,000 to a 10-year-old boy, lucky him, while the Labrador pup went for $5,000. Make of that what you will. In next week's programme, we talk to Rita Rudner about her new screenplay, Peter's Friends, and preview the Robert Redford movie, Sneakers. See you then.
A brutal murder, and this man is #1 suspect.
I spend all my time with murderers and rapists. And what's really crazy is I like them.
Emotional turmoil, as public defender Riley discovers a darker side to justice.
If you really want to be helpful, leave me alone. Jury tampering is a felony.
Starring Liam Neeson, Dennis Quaid, and Cher.
I'm busting my ass for some creep who's probably guilty.
Nothing certain in Suspect. Saturday on TBS.
Paul Newman stars as Cool Hand Luke in a moment, defying ruthless prison guards. That's our nighttime film shortly.
Cadbury's Twirl. 2 folded fingers coated in delicious Cadbury's chocolate. Take 5 for a Cadbury's Twirl.
Well, it was my daughter's wedding day, but we won't be going to church. Her future spouse has chickened out. He's left her in the lurch. He's worried about buying a house. The home arranger at the Leeds is a home buyer's dream come true. Once you've found your ideal home, he does the work for you. He deals with the solicitors, so the legal side's less fraught, and he tells you just what's going on in a 4-weekly report. Thanks to the home arranger, the wedding's on, it seems. He'll sort out the house buying, and it doesn't cost a bean.
The Leeds Home Arranger. You find the home, we'll do the homework.
Papa? Nicole!
Some are happy with sheer power. Others prefer more refinement. Happily, you can now have both. The 16-valve Renault Clio.
Quick, I've only got 2 coins. Tell me what you're eating.
Something that tastes very...
What?
Cool and delicious.
Philadelphia!
Fresh and cool.
Question. Does your power saw give you control? Through 360 degrees with a steerable blade and power to shape, power to cut straight and true? Does it lock to cut perfect right angles? And does it cut circles even in sheet steel? If the answer's yes, you have the Scroller from Black & Decker.
For breakfast, there's usually muesli.
What's the muesli he eats usually?
It's Alpen. A-L-P-E-N.
Good morning, welcome to Wednesday's Night Time, running slightly later than advertised due to a European combination of football and Maastricht. In a couple of minutes, Paul Newman starts.
The government and Mr Major have narrowly survived both votes on Europe tonight. The majority was 6 on a Labour amendment, but just 3 on their own motion inviting them to proceed with the Maastricht Bill. 26 Tory rebels voted against the government, with another 10 abstaining. The debate was about Europe, or as Labour saw it, Mr Major's credibility as Prime Minister. Labour were furious with the Liberals, whose vote saved the government. The pressure on Conservative rebels was so intense it drove one to tears. Another changed his view at the last moment.
I don't care what it looks like. I was elected as a Conservative MP. I must continue to harry the government on their European policy. I believe the government have learned a lesson from this, but I wasn't elected to bring down John Major 6 months after he was elected.
In the United States, the President-elect Bill Clinton has been seeking to reassure allies over American foreign policy after his landslide victory. Mr Clinton promised stability. He said foreign policy would remain in President Bush's hands until he took office in January. The defeated Mr Bush went back to the White House to applause from supporters. He pledged a smooth transition in America's interests. That's it. More news later.
You're watching Nighttime, taking you through till 6 in the morning. We've a mixed bag of fashion, music, comedy and nostalgia. And we start with our movie. Paul Newman is Cool Hand Luke.